One of the best meteor showers of the year peaks, and we continue to watch Coronae Borealis as it prepares to go nova. Let's take a look at what you can go out to see and image in the night sky for August of 2024. I'm Michael Martin, and this is Late Night Astronomy. We begin August with what is now month 3 of our continuing coverage of Coronae Borealis, as we all await for it to go nova. What's normally a +10 magnitude star, about every 80 years goes through a thermonuclear reaction, making it visible to the naked eye for a few days and a pair of binoculars for maybe a week or two. The question is, when will this occur? Most estimates that I'm reading put the most likely window in the next few months. Be sure to subscribe to this channel because I've got a more detailed video ready to go the day Coronae Borealis goes nova. And if you own a telescope, go out to observe it before then to track its brightness, and maybe you'll be one of the first to see this star begin to brighten in the night sky. We move from Coronae Borealis back to Earth to take a look at the best meteor showers this month. And August holds my personal favorite of the year in the form of the Perseids. Let's continue to use my favorite astronomy app, Sky Safari, to show you exactly where you need to go out to look to experience what is one of the best meteor showers of the year. The Perseids can produce a rate of 50 to 75 meteors per hour under dark skies, and come from the remnants of the comet Swift-Tuttle. To see them, go outside around 11 p.m. on the night of August 11th and look towards the northeast. The later you stay up into the early morning of the 12th, the better the show will get as it rises higher and higher into the sky. Thankfully, a first quarter moon will be pretty much out of the way by midnight, allowing some of the more faint meteors to be enjoyed this year as well. As always, if you're able to enjoy the Perseids or any other event in the night sky this month, be sure to share your experiences with everyone in the comment section below. The moon is one of the best objects to start with if you're new to astronomy, or if you're doing deep sky astrophotography, you might want to stay away from it. Either way, let's begin by taking a look at its phases this August, beginning with a new moon on August 4th, first quarter moon on August 12th, full moon August 19th, and a third quarter moon August 26th. The moon also makes several close passes to objects in the night sky, beginning with a thin crescent moon near Venus and Mercury right after sunset on August 5th. A lunar occultation with Saturn will occur on August 20th for parts of Latin America, the Caribbean, Africa, and Europe. Another occultation, this time of Neptune, will occur on August 21st in parts of Africa, Asia, and Europe. The moon will also be close to M45, the Pleiades, on August 25th. And the moon will also be close to Mars and Jupiter on August 27th as well. I'll leave a link in the description below to a website called In the Sky that will allow you to put in your exact location to see if you can see the moon moving in front of these objects this August. As we travel deeper into our solar system, we finally start to get some better views of the major planets at an earlier hour. But the real show this month begins around midnight, with Saturn reaching a nice altitude for visual observing and imaging. The beautiful rings of Saturn are pretty much straight on right now, which does take a little bit away from the view of it, but it's still a beautiful planet to observe and image. Rising in the east behind Saturn is Jupiter and Mars, putting themselves at a nice altitude for observing around 4 a.m. in the morning. Probably the most interesting thing this month involving the planets is a very close pass of Mars and Jupiter on the morning of August 14th. Go out to see how this looks to the naked eye, then move up to a pair of binoculars, and if you own a telescope, see how much you can magnify them while still keeping both of these planets in the same field of view. Through my 12-inch Dobsonian telescope, I'll be able to see them both at around 150 times magnification using a 10mm Delos eyepiece, providing a little less than a half-degree field of view. We'll have a lot more to say about the planets next month, particularly Saturn, as it makes its closest approach to Earth for the year. Everyone loves going out to see a comet, and even though we don't have any that are approaching naked eye visibility this month, we still have 3 that we're going to look at that can be viewed from a telescope in both the northern and southern hemispheres. Let's begin right after sunset in the northern hemisphere by going outside about an hour after the sun has set to try to find the comet 13P Albers. Albers is currently a northern hemisphere target, and even though it peaked in brightness last month, it's still a nice telescope target low to the horizon, traveling through the constellations Ursa Major and Coma Bereniensis. Our next comet, 12P Pons Brooks, is only visible from the southern hemisphere and continues to dim each night, making it only visible now through larger telescopes. It'll travel through the constellations Vela and Centaurus this August. Another comet visible in the southern hemisphere is C2023A3 Atlas. You can see it using a telescope in the early parts of the month right after sunset as it travels through the constellation Sextans. As we leave our solar system behind and travel into deep space, it's important to realize, particularly for this portion of the video, that getting away from as much light pollution as you possibly can, and that does include the moon, is going to maximize your views and images of these targets. We begin this month in the constellation Cygnus with a target that in my experience is only going to be visible for those of you doing astrophotography. Right near the star Deneb is where you will find the North American Nebula. I've never been able to view this target visually, but shooting it with a CLS light pollution filter using my Samyang 135mm lens brings out the beautiful faint details of this emission nebula that covers a part of the sky larger than 4 full moons. Be sure to frame it right to catch the Pelican Nebula as well when you're trying to image this beautiful target. Staying in Cygnus, let's move over to the Veil Nebula. The Veil Nebula reveals the ghostly remnants of a star that went supernova, and it is a sight to see, particularly with larger telescopes and darker skies. Try using a light pollution filter when observing this one, and I've found good success with a UHC, but particularly an O3 filter on this specific target. It really helps it pop out of the background of space, adding some much needed contrast under my light polluted sky. Using a CLS light pollution filter, I was able to take over 3 hours worth of data of the Veil Nebula and was thrilled with the end results after stacking it in Deep Sky Stacker and stretching and processing the image using PixInsight. Let's go from 2 fairly dim targets visually to a great target for binoculars or a telescope, the Dumbbell Nebula. This oval nebula was the first planetary nebula ever discovered and is a favorite of mine to view during the summer months. I was fortunate to be able to image this target a couple years ago from a dark sky location at Natural Bridge State Park in Virginia. Under what I estimated to be somewhere between a Bortle 2 and Bortle 3 sky, I was able to take this long exposure image of the target, and it's still one of my favorite images I've ever taken of the night sky, as the Dumbbell Nebula hovers in the dense portion of the Milky Way. Those are just some of the most incredible things that you can get out to see in the night sky for the month of August. If you've enjoyed this video, please like it and consider subscribing to this channel to join our growing community. But most importantly, let us know what you're getting out to observe in the night sky, and be sure to share your observing reports and any experiences that you may have in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for your continued support, and clear skies from Late Night Astronomy.